So I'm joined by Kais from Zero Touch. Kais, good to see you here.
Good to see you.
We've seen you at a few events so far, actually, so it's good that you're at MMS.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Is it your first MMS?
This is actually our second.
Right.
Yes, the first one was the one in Florida.
Right? Yeah, Fort Lauderdale?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yes, that was the first one actually that we almost couldn't make it. We didn't even know about it.
Right.
And then Steve.
Steve Weiner.
Yeah, they told us about it.
Yeah.
And he told us about it. And we only had a week to get in.
Wow.
Everything was closed. And we reached out to Brian. Brian made some room for us, and then we were able to get in within a week, and that was the best, I would say, conference we've ever been to.
Yeah. How was it? What is your reaction when you got there? Because if it's a new type of event,
it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. First of all, it's a very, I'll say, a very direct conference. Specifically for for all the technical folks, for the MVPs, all the major vendors. So you get to meet a lot of amazing folks, amazing technical sessions. Absolutely right.
Yep.
And then, of course, as a vendor for us, that was a time for us to actually talk about what we have.
Right.
How our solution can actually enhance and benefit other customers.
Yep.
I think overall, like I said, it's just a great community that you get together. You get to meet a lot of amazing people.
Yeah.
The folks that actually have been in this for many years, a lot of idols. I think this is just an amazing conference.
So you mentioned you as a company or a vendor, you're able to explain to people what you do. Do you want to touch on that? What do you do?
Absolutely. So ZeroTouch.ai, we are a unified endpoint management team. So we have our own MDM for Windows, for Apple, and for the Android. Mm-hmm. But we don't kind of usually advertise it a lot. What we do advertise, though, is the ZenTune, which is a companion for Intune. So if you already have Intune, if you have most of our customers already have Intune licenses, 365 licenses, and that comes with the Intro ID and with the Intune license. So what we do is we come in and we add on top of Intune.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the overall. But then on top of that, we make the Intune real time, meaning that when you do software deployments or if you push something, everything is real time.
Right, and that's a big thing with Intune because it's
that's
not
huge.
Real time, is it?
Absolutely.
And that's for new people with Intune, that's a common complaint.
Absolutely.
That when I push software, it doesn't happen
just wait.
now or later. It just happened at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the first thing we do, and I think we did that not only just agent-based because 90% is still done through the MDM protocols.
Right.
But then the 5 to 10% of the MDM protocol doesn't deliver, then the agent will kick in.
Right.
And when the agent does kick in and do the job, it also actually goes back to Intune and also update the compliance.
Right.
So we're actually enhancing the compliance report a lot better and faster.
Faster than Intune does.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. But additionally, what we did is we also brought a lot of the point products that you've separately purchased today into one solution. So we have about 15,000 pre-packages. Everything from Google and Slack and all of that.
Right. Across Windows, Mac, and iOS.
So 15,000 for Windows.
Oh, okay.
And as of today, we have about 1,000 packages for Mac.
Right.
We also have our own remote desktop and remote shell solution. It's built in.
Remote desktop, for assisting people remotely.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So, and this is not the typical RDP solution.
Yeah.
You can actually disable all of your RDP protocols or firewall ports.
Yeah.
And it still works. It's a technology called pixel translation.
Right.
So think of watching a 30 frame per second video, but you can actually control the machine.
Right.
That's what it is.
Wow.
But then also you have a remote shell on the back end without disturbing the user. And you can remote shell into any machine, and you can actually even access the C drive as if you're in front of it. So you can explore the drive and you can copy things. You can create logs, maybe even forensic image, and we kind of manipulate the files.
Sounds really powerful.
Thank you.
How do you secure that? Is that a risk? Is that a security risk to have that much power remotely from a machine? I don't know.
It's not. I mean, this basically kind of follows the same Microsoft best practices.
Right.
But then also, a lot of the RDP protocols that are out there, they all kind of use the same protocols and there's proxies, right? So when it comes to security, we take it very serious. Because first of all, what we do is whenever we set up a tenant for one of our customers, it's an isolated tenant, meaning the app and the database are not shared. It's their own database and their own app services,
Right.
enterprise app. And
Yeah.
then when we set them up, we actually even remove even our access.
Right.
So they are the only one who can do single sign-on, which is included, because we have SAML 2.1 OADC, and they have a break class account, and that they are the only one who can access or they can see their data. We don't even collect their data. We don't want to collect their data.
Can that be in a separate region? You know, does it region?
Any region, correct.
Right. So you
I
like
mean,
using-
as long as Microsoft has,
Oh, you're using Azure.
Correct.
Right.
We're an Azure shop, so 70 plus data centers that they have, and adding more. And then also the reason we deploy to those regions is because of the compliance.
Yeah.
So just Europe versus US and so on.
Yeah.
One, and second, the latency. You want to make sure they get the closest data center
Yeah, of
possible.
course. So, if you would say, because you mentioned you're a UEM
Correct.
and an add-on, what would you say the split is between your customers of UEM versus those who have Intune and don't need
Absolutely.
the UEM bit?
I would say 20-80.
20
So
UEM
20
and
being
80.
UEM and 80% MDM.
Right.
But what we also found out is that because we also support Mac.
Yes.
So now we're actually enhancing the Mac experience for the Intune, but also migrating people from Jamf and other
Yeah.
tools into Intune.
Right.
To make it seamless, the provisioning that we have, that's where we got so famous for, is our provisioning out of the box, where we replace the ESP with a beautiful and intuitive UI.
Is that where the name Zero Touch comes from then?
Well, zero touch, we want to be basically zero touch everything, right?
Right.
If you are spending 20 hours on something, what can we do to take that into like maybe one button or into like one policy so you never have to touch it again?
Right, because my thought of Zero Touch is ZTD, the Zero Touch Deployment ID.
Correct. That's
So-
why we put the zero touch.ai. We
Right.
always say that. So you
Right.
got to put the .ai at the
Yeah,
end.
okay, interesting. That's good. So how long has Zero Touch been around then?
So we are about 2-year-old company, and we've been out like in the market for about like 9 months, not even a year.
Yeah,
MMS was actually the first time everybody heard about us.
right.
And then since then, it's just been amazing growth. We have a lot of customer base already, anywhere from 1,000 devices to 700,000 devices.
Wow.
Massive. I'm getting a lot of leads. We were in Paris at
Yeah.
MEM. That was
Yes.
amazing.
Yep.
Now we're here. We're going to be in Norway for the Ninja.
Yep.
And also we're going to be, of course, at
In the UK?
Edinburgh. Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to that.
Yep.
So now we're making a name for ourselves, and especially with everything we're doing with the multi-tenant now. That's
Right.
where Microsoft is, very interested in working with us.
Multi-tenant.
Multi-tenant Intune management.
Right. That's needed. Yeah, I can see that, especially for MSPs.
For MSPs,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
Imagine if you have the golden policies and the apps, and you have this one tenant which is just perfect. And now if you have to bring in, like for example, one of our customers have about 1,700 Intune tenants, and it's a big
They
MSP.
do?
Imagine the army that they have to manage it,
Yeah.
right? But now they can actually take all of this and simply clone it from one tenant to one or thousands of different tenants.
Wow. Yeah.
Very
It's,
powerful.
it's interesting that Intune brings up so much opportunity for third-party vendors.
Oh, absolutely,
Right? 'Cause
absolutely.
Intune is really powerful. It does a lot of stuff, but it also misses some things. And they released the Intune suite, didn't they? Like
They
a
did.
few years ago.
They did.
And that had a lot of promise to it because the first thing they released was like remote help.
Yeah.
And they said, this is the first. The rest will come and it'll be
Absolutely.
great. And then you go, well, it's really expensive, but yeah, the rest will come and it'll be great. And the rest came and they weren't so great. They were okay. They've sort of Cloud PKI
Yep,
solves a problem.
it does.
Enterprise app management doesn't necessarily solve all of the problem. It solves a bit of the problem, and you have a little bit of the problem left over, like logos and icons and stuff. Yeah. It's almost there, so maybe it'll get better. But
yeah,
do you think
nice.
you're working closely with Microsoft? Do you think there's a risk that if Microsoft really not tried, if they got the resources and if they put up all of their effort into Intune Suite and made it perfect, is there a risk that it might reduce the need for
I don't think so, because the way we are growing, the way we're building, for example, the way we build is every 2 weeks we actually have a feature set. And the way we can actually accomplish that is because we don't have like a gigantic team of developers.
No.
We actually have a lot of AIs doing the work. So AI has kind of become a mainstream now with ChatGPT and all of that, but we've been using AI for past 2 years. We actually implemented it. We have like about 6 billion parameters already, and we're actually using it internally. So 80% of what we do is done by the AI.
Right.
Then our humans jump in and we do the code review, we do the security, we put all of that in place because AI doesn't have that access. And then we put it through production and testing and so on, give it to you guys, and then we release that. So if you were to do this with a company, we probably needed like 300, 400 people to build it.
Wow.
But we kind of all do all of this with 20 people.
You have 20 people?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, okay. I
Yeah.
didn't realize. That's impressive.
Thank you.
No, yeah, I like that. Okay, good. Well, thank you for having a chat to me.
Thank you for having me.
I love MMS, that's why I'm here, and certainly why I've tried to get this background.
It's amazing.
It's great to see all these people wandering around and doing just
Yeah, no.
MMS stuff and chatting to each other. But yeah, thank you for spending
Of course.
a few minutes with me today.
Thank you.
Really
Look forward
good
to
see
be in London and UK.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be as good as this and even
you.
better.
It will never be as good as this. This is a special place, but it should be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Have a good one.